That's the one we're gonna talk about today, Mr. Richard D. James. The first video, my first ranking video I ever did was rank my top 10 favorite Aphex swing songs, which is one of Richard D. James' pseudonym. So this is my top 10 favorite Richard D. James tracks. So let's get started. So a little info scribbled down and everything. So born Richard D. James on August 18th, 1971 in Limerick, Ireland, known as the Godfather, the creator of IDM, intelligent dance music. The whole IDM umbrella which incorporates many genres. So his sound and style has changed often quite drastically throughout his career, from every album to a EP to an album to an album to an EP to a single, whatever. So from IDM to ambient to experimental to acid to jungle to drum and bass to drill and bass to classical, and often mixes many genres. He is known for his aliases, mostly known for his legendary Aphex Twin alias, but has released music under many other aliases like AFX, Aphex, Caustic Window, Polygon Window, and many others. So, in my first video I talked a lot about his crazy shenanigans and everything he has done, lied, and everything he does for his music and whatever. It's crazy. So the only thing I'm gonna say about him is he is one, if not my favorite composer and musician of all time. And let's just call him the man, the myth, the living legend. No other person that fits the description more, really, I don't think. So my story with Richard D. James goes back to the year 2000, 22 years. I saw on MTV, Swedish ZTV, whatever, I think it was on TV, Window Licker, the music video. Very strange, very sort of perverted, sexual. I don't know, a few months later I saw Come to Daddy, also a Aphex Twin music video, but I didn't know the name from the first or anything, but here I got the name Aphex Twin, and I thought this must be the same guy who did Window Licker. That because of the music videos, mostly the tracks are very different, quite different. But anyways, it for a few years we lived on Tallbacka and moved to Föreningsgatan, so in Gällivare. So 4 years this was going through. But anyways, I have never at a time, like different things, so at each time, but at a time been more obsessed with something than this. So at that time and through all times of what I've been obsessed with, this was the most thing I have ever been obsessed with when I was a kid. So I was like 12, 13 when I saw the first Window Licker the first time, and I just had to have it, waiting hours and hours and for MTV to record his music video. And finally in 2004, maybe 2005, I got the work of director Chris Cunningham, who directed both videos, so I had both on DVD, so they turned out. But anyways, yeah, one of the most, really the one who created IDM, intelligent dance music, known as the Godfather of IDM, and many other genres in the IDM umbrella works in with that. So it's a whole thing, but real IDM, really. So he was on this Verger's Artist Intelligent Dance Music as the Dice Man. The first track I think was called Polygon Window, which he later made a alias of as an artist. But the first track, but the really first IDM where the name comes from is his first debut album, Selected Ambient Works 85 to 92. So he's born in 71, so 85 was like 13 or 14 when he made some of the tracks. Maybe it's just lying about that, but it was recorded in between 85 to 92 apparently, but I don't know. He tells so many lies throughout the time. So, but anyway, so it was released in 92 when it was like 21, 20, 13, 21. All right, so yeah, definitely, I would say if not my favorite composer and musician of all time. So I'm gonna rank my top 10 favorite tracks of Richard E. James under all his aliases. But one thing though, he's definitely mostly known to release his best work under Aphex Twin. I have only one track here that isn't released, that he hasn't released under Aphex Twin. So, okay, let's get started. So, and the titles can be different. I'm not gonna go through all that if they were released before on a single or anything. So anyways, 10, Come to Daddy Puppy Mix. In the music video, Come to Daddy. First track of his EP mini album, Come to Daddy in 1997, released as Aphex Twin. Almost a 4.5 minute track. Yeah, this is a fucking... I don't even know how to classify this track at all. It's what is almost like metal, but it's electronic, it's drum and bass, drill and bass. Very terrifying track, really dark, evilish sounding track. The music video by Chris Cunningham fits perfectly to this track. So amazing track, one of his biggest. 9, MT Saint Michel plus Saint Michael's Mouth. 10 track from his album Drugs or Drug Use. Drugs 2001, as released as Aphex Twin, is a bit over 8 minute track. I first heard this track on the work of director Chris Cunningham for the Monkey Drummer short, which is really terrifying. Robotic drum playing drums, really terrifying. But you know, yeah, this track is fucking amazing. Definitely my favorite track on the Drugs album, for sure my favorite. Really fast, crazy. I remember when I was playing this track on the school Anneli, which I knew and slept over with some other friends there, and they were laughing as hell because this track is just fucking crazy. Aphex Twin's music is really at some of the times when they release some of the shit, it's some of the most original things you will ever hear. And most haven't heard this kind of music, so they were completely like, I was fucking crazy and laughing. And yeah, it's a really fast, his tracks are often hard to categorize, but I would say sort of God, and he has his own style and everything, so it's maybe like a real fast drum and bass track. I don't know the BPM of this track, but it's fast. like a crazy drum and bass track, something like that, and it gets quite beautiful later with these voices, and at the same time crazy. And so we go back to the early days with 8 Helios Pan, 7th track of his debut album Selected Ambient Works 85 to 92, 1992 as Aphex Twin. Almost a 5-minute track. This track, yeah, IDM, yeah, it's melodic, it's really beautiful. It's another track here from this album I can compare it to, so we talk more about that later. So 7, Isatsiana, which is Anastasia backwards, a song made to his girlfriend. 12th and final track from his album Cyro 2014 is Aphex Twin, almost a 5.5-minute track. This is a very dark, deep, simple piano piece track. There's spur sound in it, really, really deep, beautiful track. Somewhat a bit similar to Avril 14th. And by the way, there's many tracks, many great Aphex Twin and Richard E. James classic tracks. There wasn't, because it was hard to rank this. But Avril 14th is one of my favorites, for example, but wasn't in. But yeah, sort of similar. I don't know if it's computer controlled or it's just piano and maybe with the burst sound sampled in the computer. Really deep, quite dark, beautiful, quite simple instrumental piano piece. Amazing track. Really euphoric, I think. 6, Everyday, first track of his EP Hangable Audible EP2, 1995, released as AFX, for the only track that is not or a Aphex Twin on this list. Almost a 4-minute track. This is a little deeper diving, going into Richard D. James' discography. Yeah, it's almost like, it's a kind of like a drill and bass track, fast drum patterns and everything, like and there's children voices singing every day, new shirt, whatever he got that from. Quite typical sounding Richard D. James, what he does often with children voices. This track is really out of that period from him, with as AFX, the 2 Hangable Audible EPs. Yeah, amazing track, one of my favorites. 5, Come On Your Slags, 6th track of his album I Care Because You Do, 1995 as Aphex Twin, almost a 6-minute track. So as I heard or I read from interviews with him, whatever, his voices, female voices taken from this porno movie named Fantasia, which he did another track as, I think it was Caustic Window, a track called Fantasia, and this oh right, yeah, so porno voices. So I guess it's from a porno movie, I sampled this. So, but for me this track reminds me more of like a Hitchcock movie, where the voices putting together. I always think of like a Hitchcock movie, and quite scary music, intimidating, electronic, or what is it, piano or something. But yeah, really a great track, always been one of my favorite. 4, Xtal or Crystal, X Chris Cross Chris Crystal X Chris Crystal Xtal, opening track of his debut album Selected Ambient Works 85 to 92, 1992 as Aphex Twin, almost a 5-minute track. Oh yeah, So this is the first track of the album that is often or is known as the first real IDM album, Intelligent Dance Music Album, often known as the greatest electronic music album of all time, if not whatever it called from. What the fuck did it call? I said it in my Jean-Michel Jarre video. I I don't remember the name of the band. An album I will never listen to anyway. So I have a different suggestion, which should be the number one best greatest electronic music album, and that's Jean-Michel Jarre's Oxy in 1976. Not my favorite Jean-Michel Jarre album, that's Rendezvous 1986, but anyways, I prefer either way selected ambient works 85 to 92 over Oxy in 1976. So yeah, it has rainy sound, female voices, a beautiful, I think it's a synth going through the track with metal sounds, which works together with the drum beats, and it's a very relaxing, euphoric track. I really love this track. 3 Girl Boy song, ninth track of his album, Richard D. James album 1996 as Aphex Twin, almost a 5-minute track. That was a track I was playing a bit of it in the beginning of the video. Many of these in the list are known as Richard D. James' best, so I just forgot to say that. Yeah, this is really beautiful, but really frantic track at the same time. It's really crazy drum patterns, crazy like drum and bass sort of patterns going really crazy at points, and same time it's beautiful. Ding 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 ding. I don't know what instrument, is it a synth or whatever, I don't know, but yeah, really beautiful, amazing track. So crazy, really beautiful, at the same time really great track. 2 Alberto Balsam, as I said in when I ranked my all Aphex Twin albums, I said that this is probably my favorite Aphex Twin track, and I thought it was gonna be, but thinking it over, it's another. But anyway, so 2 Alberto Balsam, 10 track from his album I Care Because You Do 1995 as Aphex Twin, a bit of 5-minute track. Yeah, this is really beautiful. Really melodic, really beautiful. Get some drum patterns with metallic stuff working with the drums, and yeah, really beautiful. There's some tracks that where Richard just absolutely get it right. Many of these in this list, and this is one of them. But with consideration, Alberto Balsam isn't my favorite. My number one is the track that started it all for me with Richard D. James. It's number one, Window Licker. First track from his single Window Licker 1991, released as Aphex Twin, a bit of a 6-minute track. Yeah, as I said, saw the music video, very sexual, very perverted, to some very strange, and it's a very erotic sexual sounding track, with like a sex sound at times, and Richard's voice made to sound like female voices. That's like the chorus. And it's at the same time it's very like uneven sort of way. I don't know what genre to place this track is. I just don't know. It's very Aphex Twinish, but kind of strange at the same time for him. Yeah, this track is an experience. the music video fits perfectly. So all considered, the track that started it all for me 22 years ago, and my longest session with Aphex Twin, is my number one. Or Aphex Twin, really, Richard E. James, the person behind the masks, so to speak, the aliases, the pseudonyms. Yeah, number one window licker. So yeah, that's the ranking. So see you next time. Bye.